A dimly lit street. A man, mid-30s, walks alone, wearing casual clothes and carrying a backpack. Sirens wail in the distance. Stop right there. Hands on your head. The man, Elijah Browdy, freezes, confused. Excuse me? What's going on? Just do what I said. Hands on your head, turn around. I haven't done anything wrong. You're stopping me for no reason. I don't owe you an explanation. I can stop whomever I want. That's not how the law works. I was just walking. There was a robbery at a convenience store nearby. That's enough cause for me. And you think I did it? Why? Because the cashier gave a description. And you fit it. Fit it how? The guy had his face covered with a hat and wore a jacket, gesturing to himself. I'm not wearing a hat. No jacket either. You could have changed after the robbery. Let me ask you something. Am I being stopped because I'm black? Tenses, his face twisting. Oh, don't start that. Don't pull the race card. Did the cashier say the thief was black? Hesitates, eyes flickering. No. Then why are you so sure it's me? You people just can't be trusted. Elijah exhales sharply. This isn't about the robbery. It never was. The tension thickens. Elijah keeps his hands raised as Officer Harris steps closer, eyes scanning him suspiciously. Let's take a look at that backpack. There's nothing in there that concerns you. Oh, yeah. We'll just see about that. Turn around. Harris snatches the backpack off Elijah's shoulder and unzips it aggressively. Let's see what you've got in here, huh? Harris rummages through the bag, tossing items onto the pavement. A notebook, a pen, a phone charger. Then he pulls out a $20 bill. $20? That's what you stole, huh? That's my money. Do you really think someone would rob a store and just hang around? You could have stashed the rest somewhere and come back later. Criminals aren't always smart. Apparently, neither are cops. Harris's jaw tightens. His grip on Elijah's bag hardens. Watch your mouth. Another officer, Detective Kurt, arrives, arms crossed, observing the situation. What's going on here? Caught this guy lurking. Matches the description. Probably our thief. Kurt eyes Elijah and then the $20 bill in Harris's hand. The cashier never mentioned money being stolen. Imagine that. Harris ignores Kurt, pulling out Elijah's wallet. He flips it open and sees a badge inside. Elijah Brody. His face shifts slightly, but he hides his reaction. Last name Brody, huh? Real original. Elijah watches him carefully, but he stays silent. You're coming with me. Hands behind your back. Is this really necessary? Walk. The police station. Fluorescent lights hum overhead. Harris marches Elijah inside, gripping his arm tightly. Kurt follows, uneasy. Get in here. Stand right there. Elijah exhales, keeping his posture calm but firm. Harris shoves him toward a desk. Picked this one up near the robbery scene. Looked suspicious. Suspicious? For walking? We need to check his belongings. Might have ditched the stolen goods. The desk officer, Sergeant Miller, looks at Harris, then at Elijah. His expression is neutral. All right, let's see what we've got. Harris empties the backpack on the desk. Elijah's notebook, charger, wallet. The wallet catches Miller's attention. Niefking it up, flipping it open. Elijah Brody. He pauses, eyes narrowing. Then he stiffens. Wait, Elijah Brody?
Yeah.
Yeah, some drifter with a fancy name. The FBI agent who was scheduled to transfer here today? The room falls silent. Harris's smirk vanishes. Kurt's eyes widen. What? That's not right. Elijah finally speaks, his voice level but edged with steel. It's right. I was walking to the precinct because my car's in the shop. Didn't want to wear my uniform. Desperate, shaking. This has to be a mistake. The only mistake here is how you handled this. Harris takes a step back, his face paling. Oh damn, the precinct office. The air is thick with tension. Harris's face is pale, his confidence cracking. No, This can't be right. He was acting suspicious. Elijah crosses his arms, eyes locked on Harris. Suspicious? Or just black? Harris flinches. Kurt shifts uncomfortably, glancing between them. I checked the transfer files this morning. Elijah Brody, FBI agent, assigned here as of today. Oh, man. He never said he was FBI. I didn't get the chance. You had me pegged as a criminal the moment you saw me. Harris' breathing grows uneven. He turns to Miller. Look, I made a mistake, okay? But it wasn't about race. Really? Then tell me, Officer Harris, when I asked if the cashier described the suspect as black, why did you hesitate? Harris clenches his fists, jaw tightening. Man, you said you people earlier. You did make it about race. Shut up, Kurt. Kurt takes a step back. Miller watches Harris closely, his expression unreadable. You realize what this means, don't you, Harris? Shaking his head. No, this is just a misunderstanding. Elijah. No, this is exposure. Harris looks like a trapped animal. Beads of sweat form on his forehead. The walls are closing in. The precinct office. Harris is visibly sweating, his breathing shallow. The reality of his actions is sinking in. Look, I didn't mean anything by it. It was just a routine stop. A routine stop where you ignored facts, searched me without cause, and assumed I was a criminal, and violated protocol. Harris turns to Kurt, desperate for support. Kurt, you know me, man. You know I'm not racist. I thought I knew you. Harris's hands tremble. He grips his belt tightly. Hangry but desperate. What was I supposed to do? Just let him walk away? Yes, because he was walking, like any other citizen. Harris looks at Elijah, eyes darting, searching for a way out. Look, Brody, man to man, can we just forget this? Elijah's expression remains unreadable. Let me ask you something, Harris. If I were anyone else, would you still be begging right now? Harris swallows hard, unable to answer. Harris, hand over your badge. Harris' mouth falls open. Wait! No, wait! You can't be serious! I am! And if you keep talking, I might add your gun to that request. Harris' hands tremble. Slowly, he unclips his badge, holding it tightly. The precinct, Harris frozen, gripping his badge like it's his last lifeline. Please, I need this job. You should have thought about that before profiling an innocent man. Harris finally slams his badge on the desk. The sound echoes through the room. This is ridiculous. You're all turning on me over a misunderstanding? No, we're holding you accountable. And you set me up, didn't you? You were testing us. I didn't have to. You showed me exactly who you are all on your own. Harris's breath hitches. The weight of his actions crashes down on him. Calling out, Officer Davis, escort Harris out. A younger officer, Davis, steps forward. This way, sir. Harris glares at everyone in the room, but there's no fight left in him. He turns and storms out, his footsteps heavy. Under his breath, you'll regret this. The door slams behind him. The precinct, moments later. The tension eases slightly as Harris disappears. Elijah slowly rolls his shoulders, shaking off the weight of the encounter. Agent Brody, I owe you an apology. This shouldn't have happened. No, it shouldn't have. But at least now we know who shouldn't be wearing that badge. Kurt looks at Elijah, his respect clear. You handled that better than most would have. I've been dealing with people like Harris my whole life. This isn't new, Miller sighs, rubbing his temples. It's a shame. He was a decent cop once. No, he was a cop who never got caught, until now. Kurt and Miller exchange a glance. They know Elijah is right. I'll be reporting this to Internal Affairs. The precinct. The dust has settled. Officers go about their duties, but the tension from Harris's downfall still lingers. Elijah takes a deep breath, adjusting his jacket. The weight of what just happened is still fresh, but he remains composed. Kurt stands beside him, watching him carefully. So, what now? Now, I get to work. That's why I came here in the first place. Miller approaches, his expression thoughtful. He extends his hand. I meant what I said earlier. This department needs men like you. If you're willing, I'd like you to be involved in internal reform. Elijah eyes him carefully before shaking his hand. I'll hold you to that. Miller nods. Davis, the young officer who escorted Harris out, approaches cautiously. Agent Brody, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry, I saw how Harris treated you. I should have spoken up. Elijah studies him before offering a small nod. It's not just about speaking up, it's about acting when it matters. Will you do that next time? Davis nods, determined. Yes, sir. Elijah gives him a pat on the shoulder before turning to Kurt. You handled yourself well back there. Maybe one day you'll be running this place. Kurt chuckles. Maybe, but for now I'll settle for having someone here who actually gives a damn. They exchange a look of mutual respect as the precinct hums with life around them. A new chapter has begun, the dimly lit parking lot. Harris grips his phone, tension written across his face. His hands tremble slightly. Unknown voice. Then you're on your own. No backup, no favors, and you know how that ends. Harris clenches his jaw. He knows exactly what that means. He's seen what happens to cops who get left out in the cold, disgraced, powerless, forgotten. So what? You want me to take care of him? The line goes silent for a moment. Then, no, not yet. We watch. We wait. He's not just any agent. He's FBI. If we move too soon, we risk everything. Harris exhales sharply, his fingers drumming against the steering wheel. His career is gone, but his pride, his anger, that's still burning. He humiliated me. Then don't let that be the last chapter. We'll be in touch. The call ends. Harris slams his phone onto the dashboard, gripping the wheel tightly. His eyes burn with resentment. This isn't over. The precinct next morning. Elijah walks through the hall, nodding to officers as he heads toward his new office. The tension from yesterday has faded, but something lingers. Kurt catches up to him. You hear? Harris cleared out his locker last night. Didn't say a word to anyone. Elijah nods, unsurprised. He'll be back. Not here, but somewhere. Guys like him don't just disappear. Kurt frowns. You think he's dangerous? Elijah stops walking. He turns to Kurt, his expression unreadable. Not yet. But when a man loses everything, he'll do whatever it takes to get something back. Kurt shivers slightly at the thought. So what do? Elijah exhales. We do what we came here to do. Change the system from the inside. And if Harris or anyone else tries to stop that, he glances toward the precinct doors where sunlight filters in. The world outside is unpredictable, dangerous, but Elijah stands firm. Then we'll be ready. Racism and abuse of power have no place in law enforcement. It's up to all of us to hold those in power accountable. Clips of Elijah walking out of the precinct, looking determined.